This is episode number 7 out of 10. My name is Daria Parhomenko and I'm working on the Dubai real estate market as a real estate advisor. In this episode, we will talk about distressed deals, flippings, middle of construction, and ready properties. So, a lot of people would like to buy a property for flipping or fast resell and make a lot of money in a very short period of time. Doable but risky. So the faster you want your profit, the more risk you take on your responsibility. Distress deals are possible and depends how you define distress deals. Let's say there is a developers who have a lot of stock and a lot of brokers sell it across the globe, and not always they set the clear expectation to the client and don't tell the client that there is a certain points that he can resell or cannot resell during construction, and that creates distress deal when person was not informed that he needs to complete the payment or have in mind completing the payment, and he wants to exit, and there is no buyer in this project because any investor can go and buy the same units from developer with a payment plan with a relatively similar price rather than going and buying it from the first investor, freezing substantial amount of money, because in order to buy a secondary market during construction, you need to receive non-objection certificate from developer. And this certificate developer can give you only when certain amount of property value is paid, starting as small as 30% of the property value and going up to 40 or 50% of the property value. So you might have a best price for the project, but in order to buy it, investor, the second one, needs to freeze 50% of the property value. That's why it's more feasible for him, if developer have new launches, go and start process from 20% down payment. So not always it is easy to resell project during construction period. And if somebody wants to exit the project in this stage, sometimes people need to sell it with original value plus 4% Dubai land department fees, or even below the price if they want to exit immediately. Those deals are possible in Dubai, but investor needs to be cautious. If there is so many deals like this in the project and so many people was unwisely investing, then means your property value will not grow in this community the much as you want. So in this case, if you would like to save your time on construction and have a better price, good to look at the community where you have a reasonable margin in this stage, and look for a best price in this community where the first investor exiting with, let's say, 10 to 15% on invested amount, and you will have your 10 or 15% increase on the completion, and then you will continue rented it out or resell it. So there is two types of deals. Be reasonable and think, would you like to have below market price, or you would like to have below original price, which can be risky in some communities. Ready properties. The minute when there is a building completion certificate is done from the construction company and developer, the property considered to be a ready property and ready to be mortgaged. And in this time, a lot of new investors enter the game. There is a lot of people who would like to buy only things that they see, because they don't want to take a risk of project not being completed, because a lot of people have previous experience from another countries that something went wrong during construction. To avoid this type of risk, there is a certain group of developers who buy only completed projects. And mortgage buyers, they can buy property only when it is fully completed. From this time, they can apply for the mortgage and have this property purchased. So ready properties are getting again increase in the price in the stage of completion with the key in hand. If we're talking about completed projects, there is older buildings, ready project that was in use already, or new project. This is two different categories, and there is higher end and higher demand and value for the project that are just delivered on the market because they have new facilities, upgraded vision, materials, and definitely higher value. Briefly, to summarize mortgage possibilities in UAE. Mortgage can be given for the residents and non-residents also. The difference is the resident can apply for a mortgage and have 20% down payment, 4% to buy land department fees, 2% brokerage, and that will be his part. 80% of the property value will be covered by bank. For non-residents, there will be 40% of the payment needs to be done from the non-resident, and 60% of the property value can be covered by bank. Also, there is a different rate. For residents, it's 3.99% and above, and for non-residents, it's around 6% and up. Fixed rate for 3 years, and then it will be different rate, depends on the bank and depends on the different factors. In order to have a residential mortgage, it's not enough to have only golden visa as a property owner. You need to have either salary in Dubai or company in Dubai. For this, we have mortgage advisors who can give more details and consult each client separately based on his income in the territory of UAE. For non-residents, the same. In order to obtain mortgage, you need to have stable salary income or company income, and it's a different set of papers to provide to the bank to consider eligibility of the mortgage. Anything in range of 5 million dirham can be covered for residents 2080, and if the property value is above 5 million dirham, then the down payment of the property purchase is higher. This is all about middle market and ready properties and mortgage. Next episode, number 8, I will touch base communities and standalone buildings, difference between master developers and smaller developers, and also what is the procedure for buying and selling property on the secondary market.